Prepare for oblivion.
What's going on, collectors? Welcome back to the CyberVault. I'm your host, Onesimus Prime. Today, a special one. We're looking at arguably the most loyal Decepticon in history. He's the eyes and ears of Decepticon cause. And honestly, he's got one of the coolest voices in the franchise. That's right, we're talking about the Studio Series Leader Class Soundwave. First things first, let's check out this artwork. This isn't just a box, it's a masterpiece. The line work here was done by the legendary Marcelo Matre. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that correctly, please excuse me if I'm not. If you've been collecting for a while or reading the IDW comics, you know that name. He's a Brazilian-Canadian artist who's basically royalty in the Transformer world. He has this way of making static images look like they're moving, and he's absolutely nailed it here. Look at how he captures Ravage, Soundwave, and Laserbeak in the front. It looks like Ravage is about to pounce on you. Laserbeak looks like he's gonna fly off the box. The rest is your standard specs, transformation steps, age rating, all that stuff. At the bottom you see the names of the 4 figures included, which gives it a uniqueness compared to the others, since there are 4 and not just 1, and 4 that belong together. But my favorite part, it's something I mentioned in my scrapper video. I love how the artwork wraps around the side. To me, it gives it a 3D type feel. It shows Autobot City in absolute ruins. It's a perfect tribute to the 1986 movie, which, crazy enough, is celebrating its 40th anniversary this year. It sets the scene perfectly. As it spins around to the back, it's broken down into 3 sections. Up top, taking up about a quarter of the space, you've got this iconic scene where Soundwave jams the transmission during the attack on Autobot City. Then the middle section, the big one, shows off the figure in its alt mode of a cassette deck, and next to it his robot mode, posed for battle. To the left you see the cassettes stacked up in robot modes. Buzzsaw on top, Laserbeak in the middle, and Ravage at the bottom. The bottom section, just legal jargon, we're going to ignore that. And on the final side, just a menacing close-up of Soundwave with that Studio Series logo. Alright, let's get him out of there. Quick look at the box in hand. Open it up. Pull him out. And here he is, the figure itself. Tied down to this blue cardboard backdrop. It's got the Transformers text in different fonts and the factions emblems all over it. It's a cool touch. And the manual. Now I know some people just snip these ties, but not me. I like to untie them from the back. That way, if I ever need to store the figure, I can pack him back up securely without him rattling around. For the cassettes, just had to manipulate them a little bit to slide them out. Everyone is out and on the desk. And now for the accessories, which you can see is quite a few because we're dealing with 4 total figures. Before we dive into this transformation, we have to pay tribute to a true icon of our childhoods. The man, the myth, the legend, Frank Welker, the unmistakable voice behind Soundwave. With over 60 years of voices and memories, Frank has been a staple in the industry since the very beginning. It all started back in 1969 when he voiced Fred Jones for the Mystery Gang in the original Scooby-Doo. We'll have plenty of chances to talk more about him, as he voiced so many of our favorite characters in the original 80s cartoon. Let's get into the transformation. Looking at the manual, it's pretty standard layout. But the real magic happens once you get your hands on the plastic. This version clocks in at 28 steps, which really isn't bad at all for a leader class figure. It's the perfect level of intricacy without being a total headache. The first thing I notice is how familiar this feels. If you've handled the G1 original or seen the Legacy United or Masterpiece versions on other channels, you'll feel right at home here. It's a faithful evolution of that classic engineering. I love the attention to detail here. His blaster accessories store right in the back to form his batteries, so there's no part forming or wondering where to hide them in alt mode. The figure itself is incredibly sturdy and honestly, just fun to flip through. What really stands out is this lack of kibble or gaps. It's very solid in both robot and alt mode, which isn't always a guarantee with these modern lines. Now pay attention to these knee sections I'm pushing in. It's a unique design choice, but it can be a bit of a gotcha. If you grab them there, they pop in and you have to open the back leg panels to reset them. It's a bit of a process, so watch your grip. As you're folding everything together, keep an eye out for these recessed tabs and locking ports. They help secure the connections and ensure everything is perfectly squared away for the alt mode. Time to load Buzzsaw. You'll notice if you try to force it, it won't see properly. There's a specific orientation to get these cassettes in. That spring-loaded chest piece feels great. Hopefully it stays that snappy for years to come. And there he is, the iconic 80s tape recorder. Putting him here on the desk next to Ravage and Laserbeak. The colors look spot on to the cartoon. It's a fantastic looking piece of nostalgia. Next up, let's check out Soundwave's mini packaging partners. I'm putting the accessories together now. They look great, but I have to admit it gets me a bit that these don't store in cassette mode. You have to find a spot for them elsewhere on your shelf. Once we have the bird's laser packs ready, we just need to snap Ravage's tail together and we're set. Since these two are identical molds, I split the screen to save some time. The manual says they transform in 6 steps. Honestly, I wasn't happy with this mold at first, especially compared to the G1 original I remember so fondly. But as I transformed them, they're growing on me. Now for Ravage. He's a bit more involved at 12 steps. The way you have to work the hind legs and seat the tail definitely makes you do a double take. It's a bit of a weird process. And there's the team, Ravage up front with Buzzsaw and Laserbeak flanking Soundwave. Before we get to the articulation of Soundwave, let's take a quick timeout for some cyber death shots to appreciate these figures in robot mode. Here's a quick stop motion to show some articulation. Wow, what a nice looking tape deck. But now let's transform him back to the bot we all know and love. I have to say, as smooth as it was going into alt mode, it felt even easier transforming him back into his robot form. There's a graceful unfolding to this figure that just works. You might notice I'm not talking you through every single step. I figure most of you are watching these reviews to actually see how the figure handles and transforms visually. If that's not your thing, well, sorry. I might still do a step-by-step guide for more complex figures, or maybe even a short for this guy later on, but for now, let's just enjoy the engineering. And look at that. Soundwave looks incredible with Buzzsaw right there in his chest. Placing him here on the desk with Ravage and Laserbeak flanking him on the right and left. This is exactly how he should look. Let's take a final look at this alt mode. I know some people point out how bad the back looks, but honestly, we usually look at him or display him from the front, and it's not too far off from the 1984 cartoon at all. The front is awesome. They nailed the yellow chest outline and those side strips. Even with a bit more blue at the bottom than the toon, it's solid with very few hollow spots. I'm so glad I waited for the Studio Series line instead of jumping onto other versions. Here's the full setup with the tape deck open so you can see Ravage tucked inside, with Buzzsaw and Laserbeak on the flanks. It looks great, though I do wish the cassettes looked a bit more like, well, actual cassettes. From every angle, this really captures the 80s vibe we grew up with. Seeing him back in robot mode, the similarities to the original 80s toys are clear, but the engineering here is just world apart. This is exactly why I enjoy collecting now. It's that G1 cartoon accuracy I've wanted since I was a kid. Final thoughts, a huge shout out to Frank Welker for giving this character its soul. For a first impression, I'm giving this a huge thumbs up. And for articulation, a definite head nod. He is incredibly posable. Stick around for the end. I've been playing with a vocoder to see if I can match that iconic monotone. Until then,
Be brave and transformed.